I see too many kids now these days that, you know, they're getting into gangs, the drugs, because you guys don't want to dream no more. You guys got too much pride. You guys want to fight. Let me tell you something. I've been there and done that. You guys don't need to fight. If somebody starts something with you, you know what? You need to walk away. You guys gotta learn to walk away. Because one day when you get older, somebody's not gonna take it so lightly. You know, they'll put a gun out, and guess what? You may be laying in a casket. Your mom might be looking at you.
He's only 21, yet Tyree Washington has lived a lifetime.
You're a little kid, you seeing somebody just laying there, and you know everything's covered up, you know, with yellow tape, and cops are all around, and you're like wondering what's happening. You actually see that, you know, just look, you know, glance over, you see that person just laying there, you know, and they're gone. And, I mean, they're not coming back.
Those visions helped Tyree turn away from gangs, but he needed his high school football coach to help him see the light.
He would tell me, Ty, you know, because my dream was going to the NFL, and he said, Ty, you know, if you keep on fighting and you keep on, you know, causing trouble, you know, you're never going to go to the NFL. You're not going to amount to anything. And, you know, being as a kid, that hit me hard.
I think anytime you come from a family background where there's problems in the home, I think that you always, as a youngster, have to vent. I think in Tyree's case, he vented athletically.
Through football, Tyree escaped the streets of Riverside, California, but he couldn't escape problems with his mother's boyfriend. So at age 16, he moved out to live with the Pasalacqua family.
He had kind of a helpless feeling, not being able to deal with Fred, and he would become more angry at what was happening, and so he needed a place to stay.
The Pasalacqua's two sons were Tyree's football teammates. Their dad was one of the coaches, and he saw something special.
He's got an inner drive. He's got that thing inside him that says, I am gonna compete and I'm gonna win. And that's just Tyree.
It is that inner drive that steered Tyree to the track, going from California Junior College champion to national championship runner-up 1 year ago.
To me, track is just not racing, it's battling. When I get on this track, I'm in battle with the surface. You know, me and the clock. The clock is my enemy.
And it's that spirit Tyree carried with him to the Worlds last year to challenge Michael Johnson.
I think there is self-doubt in him because when he got beat, first time he got beat in 8 years. So right now, I don't think he thinks he can go out here and win.
Tyree would not beat Michael in the 400 that day, but he captured the bronze and sent a message to the world.
A lot of people, a lot of reporters, they couldn't understand. They said, you know, this kid is causing trouble. You know, he's disrespecting Michael. No, I wasn't disrespecting him. I'm just not afraid to run against him.
To the world around him, Tyree is unabashed.
Are you coming, Mikey?
And despite his newfound fame, he won't forget the people who have helped him along the way. He recently visited his old high school, La Sierra in Riverside, to teach today's youth some of life's toughest lessons.
We don't get this opportunity that someone would come out there and speak from the heart. You know, and I'm speaking from the heart to you guys because I don't want to see neither one of you guys go out here and do something foolish. It's not worth it. I mean, you don't want to end up in jail. I just think that, you know, if you're brought up, you know, say in the projects, you're going to be in gangs, they're going to sell drugs, that's the easy way out. I didn't want to take that easy way out. I wanted to work. You know, I always wanted a challenge in life. You know, and by me taking that challenge and just sticking it out, you know, it's making me better. You know, it's making it better for me today.
When we return, does Michael Johnson yet hear Tyree's footsteps? Or does he fly as well? Let's go back out to the gang at track and field. Ernie?
All right, Lamson, this guy looks ready. The game face of Michael Johnson moments before the men's 400 meters. You will see it live here in just moments. Fights. Got a great crowd tonight, folks. One of the things they've come to see, the 400 meters. Butch Reynolds, the world record holder, 43.29, set in Zurich in 1988. The Goodwill record belonging to Roberto Hernandez. And the man everybody's watching, Michael Johnson. 96 Olympic gold medalist in the 200 and the 400. Nothing but solid gold in 1996. You start at the shoes up. He was solid gold, Marty.
In 96, he had a year that's been better than anyone ever had at 200 and 400 meters. But, you know, no one runs as fast as he does, especially around curves, without it eventually causing an injury. He's had one this year. He appears to be over it. He's coming off of a victory in Europe, but there are two young guys on each side of him that think this is the time to seize the moment.
One of them, the guy with the headband, Tyree Washington, Carol.
You know, Tyree Washington is gaining more and more confidence. He was third at the World Championships last year and ran very close to Michael Johnson in a meet in Europe after the World Championships. Now, he ran the 200 meters earlier in this competition and ran 20:29, which is a fast time. I expect him to be very quick.
Butch Reynolds, the world record holder. You were there in Zurich the day he did it, Marty.
I interviewed him a minute or two after he had time to jog a little bit, and I never in my life saw anybody as out of breath as he was at that time. And that's why they said Lee Evans' record from 68 was so hard to break, because you're really running the last 100 meters in tremendous oxygen debt, and I'm sure Butch felt a lot of pain in only a 43-second race.
He is now an assistant coach at Ohio State. And Jerome Young, good friend of Tyree Washington, kind of a sandwich around Michael Johnson here in this
Definitely
race.
a sandwich. You know, Jerome won the national championships at 44:09, fastest time in the world. He's been struggling since then. You know, he had a long collegiate season. Sometimes that can really affect some of these younger athletes.
So we will keep our eye on lane 3, 4, 5, 6. What a great 400 this should be. What do we watch for here right at the start?
It's going to be very interesting the way the lanes have, you know, kind of been drawn out. Tyree Washington is one lane inside Michael Johnson, and usually actually Michael Johnson's favorite lane is lane 3. With Michael Johnson one lane outside of him, he can keep an eye on him the entire race. Will that affect Michael Johnson in the sense that he'll be saying, okay, where's the youngster? Where's the kid? Where's the youngster? You know, they've been running in some dogfights over in Europe this summer, and this should be a great race. Can the youngster finally beat the master?
They're out of the blocks in the 400 meters. Michael Johnson is in lane 4, Tyree Washington in lane 3.
They're all running pretty evenly around that turn, as if no one has the idea of really going out quickly. They're all watching each other.
Well, Michael McDonald from Jamaica in lane 7 is the one who has gone out very fast. Tyree Washington moving up. Michael Johnson overtaking Jerome Young at this point.
It's the 200 meters, and they have just a hair over 100 to go. Here they come down the stretch. There is Michael Johnson. Tyree Washington is second. Michael Johnson showing the way. Can Tyree Washington catch him, or has the master done it again? Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson wins the 400.
Excellent running by Michael Johnson. You know, I think a tactical mistake by the youngster. Michael Johnson moved up very, very quickly out of the blocks. He did not move up too fast, because if you saw the race, Tyree Washington, Michael Johnson, Jerome Young, and Butch Reynolds ran almost in order at the beginning of the race. Michael Johnson has got to be very, very happy with that time. He hasn't won 43 seconds in quite a while.
Fastest time in the world this year. It's like the Chicago Bulls. Just when you think they're vulnerable, they show up and say, not yet, kids. We're still here.
Yeah,
43.76.
he ran faster than anybody in the race, except for Butch Reynolds, of course, has ever run, or really is even close to running. I think Carroll called it. Tyree Washington just kept the same stagger, as if he was pacing himself off of Michael Johnson, hoping that Michael would be a little bit out of shape and to be able to come by him in the home stretch, but he got a little bit of a surprise. But I think he did the smart thing.
Michael Johnson and Tyree Washington, 1-2 in the 400 meters. They are trackside. Our Lewis Johnson is down there with them. And let's hear from him. Lewis.
All right, thanks, Ernie. Tyree, it's the master and the student, and I just believed you could chase that one, huh?
Oh, yeah, you know, I try to come up at the end, but, you know, Michael was very strong, and I kind of slipped coming out the blocks. And, you know, I tried to recover from that. But by that time, the field was kind of up there, so I had to kind of play catch up. But Michael ran a good race, and, you know, I'm learning, I'm young, having fun, and I'm going to enjoy the sport while I can, and I'm going to play football in the NFL. But right now, I'm just enjoying it. I just thank God
Great job. Michael, 43.77. Your European tour seems to be paying off now. Are you shocked by the time?
No, not at all. I mean, we've been working, and what I needed was races after the injuries. So the 2 races in Europe did me very good.
Tell me about your decision to pull out of the 200 and just run the 4.
I mean, of course, I'm a little disappointed that I wasn't able to defend my 200 title, but, you know, that's what happens. You get injuries in this sport, but I'm very happy to get my first 400 Goodwill Championship.
You have been very involved in helping the organization publicize this event, and as we look at the stands here, there are an amazing amount of people. Your thoughts on the success of the Goodwill Games?
The crowd is great. You guys are doing a great job. Thanks, everybody, for coming out.
Great. Thanks a lot, Michael. EJ, back to you.
Well, I tell you what, he gave them what they wanted to see here tonight. Michael Johnson takes off on a victory lap. More field action now with Dwight Stones.